sweeping down the plains, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oh, the home every night, my honey lamb and I sit alone and talk and watch the hawks making lazy circles in the sky. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. And when we say, I-F-I-O-A, we're only saying you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. Okay, now sing it with me, come on. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oklahoma, every night, my honey lamb and I sit alone and talk and watch the hawks making lazy circles in the sky. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. And when we say, I-F-I-O-A, we're only saying you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, O-K-L-A-H-O-M-A, Oklahoma, okay. Woo! Let me hear you, come on. Woo! Are you glad to be here today and celebrate? Woo! I'm glad you're here. We're going to have a good time. As a matter of fact, at the end of the show, I want to meet each and every one of you personally, sign autographs. We do have a few little things. See, since you're not paying us, we gotta pay for our gas going back home. And we have some friends in the audience that, Aunt Marie, where are you? Well, Aunt Marie was the band queen in 1940. That's the year I was born. That's right, 1940. She was the band queen. So I thought it was fitting, and she was a Forrest. And we're going to go see your brother Herman at the rest home afterwards. We're going to visit with him. Well, I tell you, we've got a great group up here today. But you know something? You know, life isn't always easy if you're well known, you know, and if you have hit records and you have a big career. How many of you remember Florida Orange Juice, huh? Yeah. I've even gone back to drinking it. I can't hold a grudge, you know. And before that, I was drinking Coca-Cola, and so, you know, I have enough mileage to be about 250 years old, if you want to know the truth, you know. But I'm still 45, right? And, of course, then being a part of the Bob Hope shows for all those years was wonderful. But, you know, sometimes you go through life, and sometimes things aren't easy. But I want to tell you, it started out that way. You don't realize it if you haven't heard my birth story, because we really lived in Oklahoma City, and my mama carried me a month too long. She came to my grandparents' house. Did anybody ever know Gracie and John Barry? Those are my grandparents, and they lived on West Birch, and then they lived, what was the other address, Aunt Marie? I can't even remember my own address, can you? But anyway, I was born in my grandparents' house, but I was pretty good size, and they said the baby's dead. And you know, so the doctor laid me down on the table and started helping my mom. She was having problems, but my grandpa didn't know the Lord, and so he went over there and took that doctor by the neck, and he said a lot of things I can't repeat here today. But he said, "I want to kill you if you don't save my grandbaby and my daughter." So the doctor said, "Quick, Mrs. Berry, get a pan of ice water." So they got a pan of ice water, took me by my heel, stuck my head in it, and whacked me on the bottom, and I took my first breath. Now, I'm sure of that because I am still breathing. No, it's not over. Listen, you Baptists are going to hate this part. Said, get whiskey and strong coffee down her. That's what they did. I don't know if they burned it off or... But Grandma said she had it there for medicinal purposes. I think it was medicinal. Grandpa's what it was. But anyway, they got it down me, all that poison came out, and that's how I traumatically came into this world. You know something? The devil's tried to kill me ever since. He has. He's been on my tail. But you know what? God says, greater is he that's in you than he that is of this world. So he ain't no match for God. Woo! So I'm still alive and well, and would you believe I'm just starting up again? We just formed Anita Bryant Ministries International. I'm speaking and singing. But you know something? I trusted the Lord when I was 8 years old, but I learned it right here in Barnesdall. My grandpa, after I came into the world, he sang, and he got, you know, he was kind of a scoundrel, and his eyes were seared out of his head, and he couldn't see but just little dark forms. But while he was recuperating in the hospital, he was led to the Lord, and then he went around town saying that he had to go blind before he could really see, because only then did he see Jesus. And he had a wonderful testimony for God. Oh, and I love my grandpa, and he thought he'd rock me to say, "Sing, Anita, sing." And Mama says I'd cry just like any other baby, but Grandpa swore I was going to become a singer. And he kind of programmed me, so he talked the preacher in the First Baptist Church right here in Barnesdall. I made my debut singing. Of course, see, I told you the devil was after us. The church has since burned down. But I actually debuted singing "Jesus Loves Me" when I was 2 years old here in Barnesdall. Been singing ever since. And so my roots are deep here, even though my folks lived in Oklahoma City. We're back in Oklahoma City. I came back to take care of my parents. My stepdad, George Cate's gone to be with the Lord, and then my mom, I was her caretaker for a year. And so I want to dedicate this whole program today to Grandma and Grandpa Barry, and to also my mom, Lenora Cate, and Lenora Barry Cate, and to Pawpaw. And because if it wasn't for them, they were here the last time I was co-marshal with Tom, and I know that they missed it, and that's why I wanted Aunt Marie to ride with me in the wagon. But you know something? There's no place that life can put you, even when you go through some hard places. And I went through the divorce, and God hates it, I hate it, but you can't always control the circumstances in your life. But you know what? God is greater than your circumstances. He really is. And I thought I would never sing again, perform again. I was kind of through with everybody. You know, I was fed up. And that's easy to do in life. But God wasn't through with me, and I knew He loved me that night right where I was. And I came back to Oklahoma. Just instinctively, I knew they'd love just plain Anita Jane. And they did. And seems like I'm always coming back home, you know, starting over. But that night I rolled in the fetal position, and I remember God saying, "I love you. I love you." I wasn't audible, but in my spirit. And I couldn't even pray then. All I could do was just weep like a baby. But I knew He loved me, but I said, "God, how can you love me when I can do nothing for you?" Because at that point I couldn't do anything. I just had it. But you know, He did, and I started writing songs about it. Here's one song that is a testimony for the glory of God. It's called, that He gave me, and we have some recordings over here about it. It's called "I Am What I Am" by the grace of my God.